Collective. This is your channel reading for the 18th of June. Now, before I do this reading, I talk a lot of shit on my channel. I don't talk a lot of shit, I talk the truth. Okay? I might have told a joke, but I never told a motherfucking lie, okay? When I was doing the research to present this reading, I was a little nervous at first, okay? Not because of the research that I was about to present, but because of lack of knowing information. I was also feeling sick to my stomach. But again, I don't think it was me. I think it was energy I was picking up. So I'm getting, after you find out the truth about something, you're going to be sick to your stomach, okay? I don't know if you were tricked. But yeah, this reading is called Message to the FBI. That's what I was hearing, a message to the FBI. Now, before I start, yes, you got to be strong and do the best that you can. The world is out there, conquer your fears, and don't you wait too long. Yes, you got to be strong and your best that you can. The world is out there, conquer your fears, and don't you wait too long. Don't you wait too long to conquer your fears. No, I had this person in my notes in my phone since the 31st of May. And I was just rechecking over notes that I written down, and I saw the person's name, and I was like, why didn't I present this reading? So we are doing a reading on, they call him the excellent Sir Alexander Bustamante, also known as Hitler 2.0. Okay, so for those of you who do not know who Alexander Bustamante is, he was the first Prime Minister of Jamaica. Okay, so he was actually the son, he was born February 24th, he was a Pisces, alright, 1884, the son of Robert Constantine Clark, an Irish planter, and his mother was Mary Clark. They deemed her as a mixed-blooded Jamaican, okay? Now, he had a lot of honors, you know. He won, he had a doctorate in law, you understand? He was the member of the Order of the National Hero. He was granted Order of the Knight Guard Cross, okay, which for those of you, when you know about the Masons, the Freemasons, you know, when you know, right? The National Order of the Knight Grand Cross. He was also awarded Distinguished Order of the Brilliant Star with a Special Grand Guerdon by the government of the Republic of China, okay? So basically, he was basically the first Prime Minister of Jamaica when Jamaica gained independence, okay? Now, you can research in history, okay? Wait, let me look. Okay, so he actually changed his name, right? He said that he took the surname Bustamante to honor a Spanish sea captain who he claimed adopted him in his early years and took him to Spain, where he was sent to school and later returned to Jamaica. So Bustamante was really of the Spain, you understand, of the Spanish, okay? It goes down talking about the fact he was imprisoned for several years, but he was later released, okay, under Norman Manley's request 3 years later, okay. He represented the Jamaica Labour Party. Now, for those of you who may have watched my story here, you know that we have a little, when it comes down to the green, you understand? Jamaica has two national parties, two major national parties, the orange and the green, okay? So he was the first Prime Minister of Jamaica when Jamaica gained independence. He was also the Prime Minister ruling under the Jamaica Labour Party, the Green Party, okay? Now, the significance of Bustamante, I heard the name and I got the channel before I even understood the research, okay? Now, Bustamante was responsible for something called the Coral Gardens Incident. Now, the Coral Gardens Incident, okay, let's go ahead and talk about it. The Coral Gardens incident, also known as the Coral Gardens atrocities, right? Also known as Bad Friday, refers to the series of events that occurred in Jamaica from April 11th to the 13th, 1963, following a violent altercation at a gas station in Montego Bay. Jamaica police and military forces detained Rastafarians throughout Jamaica, killing and torturing many. The exact number is not available, but the estimated number that was detained was as high as 150 people. Now, it goes on to say, the years prior to the Coral Gardens incident saw the building of tensions between the Rastafarian community and the British colonial government in Jamaica. In 1958, British police engaged in several arrests, right, and evictions of Rastafarians, often bringing to bear charges of possession of cannabis. So back then that was a no, right? Now we know cannabis to be legalized. Cannabis is being revolutionized when it comes down to medicine, especially for neurological disease, anxiety, and also helping people when it comes down to certain type of overreactive behavior, right? So often bringing to bear charges for the possession of cannabis, which is used as a Rastafarian religious sacrament. Several of these incidents resulted in police killings of Rastafarians, and some of those arrested were reportedly never seen again. Due to the alleged violence on the part of the Rastafarian and the public discourse, which emphasizes antisocial aspects of the Rastafarianism faith, public opinions in Jamaica largely sided with the police against the Rastafarians. Now, what happened? Why all of a sudden the police? So basically there was an altercation at a gas station between police and Rastafarians, okay? Now, why was the tension there in the first place? So in 1959, a confrontation between a Rastafari security guard and a policeman in Coronation Market resulted in the police beating the security guard, which prompted a violent response from the nearby shop owners. The police brought reinforcements, arresting 57 Rastafarians and brutally beating and forcibly shaving the dreadlocks off some of them. A police car and a fire truck were also set on fire during this incident. Later years, Rastafari leader Claudius Henry was accused of plotting a revolution and communicating with Fidel Castro. So apparently, Norman Manley believed that the Rastafarians and Fidel Castro was in close dealings, and that they wanted to basically have a revolution, right? No, I'm not exactly sure. And everybody know who Fidel Castro was, the man who survived 600 assassinations, right? It was also said that Fidel Castro wanted to bring in a new currency, and him was basically that was never brought to fruition. He wanted to build a new currency that would have overpowered the US, right? And if you don't know this, Fidel Castro was actually good friends with Russians. The Russians actually sided with Castro when it comes down to hating America at that time, okay? In 1962, Jamaica was granted independence, but anti-Rastafarians sentiments continued to prevail in the government and police forces, which increasingly viewed the Rastafarians as a security threat. The police training schools, officers would often train using images they would train the officers using images of Rastafarians as target practice, right? The target. The sentiment was echoed in general society as well, with Rastafarians often being beaten by civilians, forcing Rastafarians to avoid public space. So in Jamaica, this wasn't a nigger versus white people. This was the JLP party versus the Rastafarians, because of the fact that the JLP saw them as a security threat. Now, what did the Rastas know that the former spy didn't? There's actually photos of Alexander Bustamante sitting down having a conversation with John F. Kennedy. Again, we're going back to the Kennedys. No, that's just a little research that I did. You can do your research on your own. So basically, that's really why, especially Rastafarians, were not promptly supportive of any type of political party, especially the JLP. They were beaten. They were forced to shave off their head, all because of cannabis, something that was grown. I mean, nobody, who did plant it? The Rastafarians didn't go to fucking space and bring it down and planted it. It's because they were using this drug that now Canada has legalized. And I have a reason to believe that there was a lot of sons and daughters who were sold into human sacrifice and slavery when it came on to the Jamaica Labour Party. So you may have, and you know what else I was reading? I was also reading the fact that every single United States president were related to slave owners except Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the only ancestry that was not related to a slave owner. You know that? Every other president of the United States, they had some type of ancestral background when it comes down to owning slaves. Donald Trump did not. So I'm getting something is coming to the light, or you're realizing that something was actually indoctrinated from a long time ago. And this was not outsiders looking into the Jamaican people and doing what they were doing. Remember, Haile Selassie came to Jamaica too. And he was the so-called face of the Rastafarian people. He visited Jamaica. But it's very fucked up to know that that is the history of the Jamaican people. Bob Marley, which was the face of Jamaica, right? Everybody know anytime they talk about Jamaica, people say, oh, we know Jamaica for cannabis smoking and Bob Marley. And we Jamaicans have fought for Bob Marley to be placed as a national hero or to be placed on a bail. Now you know why. Now you know why his assassination attempt was deemed upon him. Remember when Bob Marley was trying to bring Norman Manley and somebody else, the Jamaica Labour Party and the PNP party, he was trying to bring them together on stage using music, and then his assassination was one hit was put against him. Yeah, can that come back from blood clot Alexander Bustamante days, when the police would train basically how to kill civilians using the face of Rastafarian people. So you might be the daughter of a Rastafarian person, you might be the son of a Rasta man, and they try to water it down as the years go by, putting on artificial locks, you know. Then we try to water it down to make it look more uniform, because you know, say Rasta no comb here, Rasta here pleated, right? Sometimes you see 1, 2, 3 lock and I hit that. But they try to make it more civilized, you know, put it in the small locks, the artificial locks or the extension locks, right? So I don't know if you're a police officer and you have been ordered to target Rastafarians, the descendant of Rastafarians, the sons and daughters of the Rastafarians, and I'm getting you saw it as it was just what we were taught. Cannabis is illegal, it's a drug used by the madman, right? So I'm getting, and I'm also getting the force to shave head. So that's why a lot of people, especially when they come to Canada, them come with them, when they come from certain countries, from Africa, certain countries that had very strong morals, them come to first world countries and all of a sudden them want blend in, them shave off them head. Them don't want to be Rasta no more. Them don't want affiliated, not with dreads, right? They put on the weave for look more European, right? Alexander Bustamante was a white man. He was an Irishman, actually. Or so the text says. So I'm getting everything that you have known, every doctrine that you have stood for, or what you believe was right, it was really propaganda. It was propaganda by your own government. Where I'm getting, as a Rasta man, you knew that your government was against you. Even though them exploit you, Even though them use your music for reach the masses. Even though Rasta music, it touch white people more than it did touch black people. You didn't know that? Bob Marley fans was majority of them was white people, they weren't black. Because Jamaica hated Bob. Can you imagine what Cindy had to go through? Cindy Breakspear had to go through as a white woman sleeping with Bob Marley. So I'm getting maybe as a means of forgiveness, you're a police officer, you serve in the military, I'm getting you to shave your head. For sure, respect of the propaganda that you have believed for all these years, thinking that something was right and just. It wasn't. These people were cornered, beaten, forced to shave them head and give up them identity. Almost the same way the Jews were forced to give up their doctrine as to what they believed. Let us go ahead in your spiritual messages. See, we hear about people shaving their head to show respect for cancer patients. We're getting you to shave your head for show respect of the injustice that you participated when it came on to basically Rasta people. Let's go. We got phone number coming out first. Yeah, they weren't granted to work. They weren't granted to have devices. They weren't granted to be implemented in society. From it come from a mother or father who was Rasta, or you were deemed to be Rasta, you got nothing. No shoes, no clothes, you get nothing. And it was all set up initially by Alexander Bustamante. Hitler 2.0. I ain't taking it motherfucking back. We got the chariot, the police, orange. So you may have been taking orders from the Jamaica Labour Party, or we're introducing the face of the People's National Party. Because the Jamaica National Party set the rules for Jamaica, but the people of Jamaica did not agree. And for those of you who did not know, the People's National Party was the only party who had elected a female to represent them, the Honorable Portia Simpson Miller. The same woman them did say she couldn't have kids, she had one mule. The same woman they said was an uneducated woman and she never knew how to read and write. She did not have the credentials to be in politics. She didn't have the credentials, but she had a womb. So she knew what it's like to see her sons and daughters being abused. I'm getting again the police. We have the star card. You might be a celebrity son, a celebrity daughter. We all know the star, the Aquarius, the star card, Bob Marley, he was an Aquarius. The same man that says possessions don't make you rich, life make you rich. Bob Marley had nothing when he died. His family had to fight over his inheritance because the government wanted to hold on to it. We got the Fool card, freedom. We got trust no one. And we got the Wheel of Fortune, the Jews. So I'm getting police brutality. Or I'm getting you're going to resign. If you're a police officer, you're going to resign. Or I'm getting again the shaved head. The shaved head was significant. You remember when Bob Marley sing the song, we're going to chase these crazy bald heads out of town? That was because of Alexander Bustamante. We didn't know that. We were just singing it. Blasting the music. Laughing like everything was okay. One thing Bob Marley never did, he never cut him locks. A lot of people did. We have the Emperor. Hi, Emperor. Take these words of divine to the Emperor right away. Tell him to be mine. I don't want him to stray. Words of divine to the princess right away. Tell him to be mine. I'll be there on that day. Right? The Emperor. We got the Ace of Wands. I'm getting you get back your staff, Emperor. They took your staff away from you. They took your walking stick away from you. You're gonna get it back. If you was a Rasta man, somebody tell you say you'd never hit the airways again. Somebody tell you say you would never touch the stage again. Somebody told you that you would never perform a day in your life again. Watch what gonna happen. Me getting the people them want hear the music. Cause nothing inspire people more than Rasta music. You didn't know that? That it touched the hearts and souls of people. It wasn't the rap music, it wasn't R&B, and it wasn't jazz and blues. It was reggae. And the sons and daughters of reggae breeded dancehall. If we never bumbleclot, no. We have the Nine of Wands. I'm getting a Sagittarius. Fire, fire, fire. Yeah, that's what them always say. Fire, right? That's what them always say. When you go concerts, right? Some fest, you see the rest of them with a blow of fire, right? Fire upon Babylon, right? That's why the Rastafarians and the police were always in segregation, because the police were ordered to kill them and murder them, and when you get them in them custody, you shave off them head. Kind of like what they did to me in Quebec before me did leave Quebec. Before I was on the streets in Quebec. That's what they did to me. And then we did find another Rasta man who did help me, who did come for me, who did come for drive 5 hours from Quebec while me in the snow, right beside the library. Him did drive down there and come for me. And drove 5 hours to Quebec from Toronto and 5 hours come back. It was a Rasta man did help me come to Toronto. So I'm getting you a fight back. I'm getting you were oppressed for all these years. Or you were told that let us stay isolated because that's what the government did want. The government didn't want to be isolated because it was a threat. Because Fidel Castro took on a side over on the own blood clot government. And why the fuck would Fidel Castro have a liking to Ethiopia? To Haile Selassie? Because Fidel Castro knew who the chosen people were. You know that? And so did the Russians. You didn't know that? And remember, Alexander Bustamante was close with the Chinese. And the Queen of Wands. I'm getting your queen is here. Your queen has arrived. Or I'm getting you're going to text somebody as a queen and you're going to turn them into the empress. Because I'm getting... yeah, right? Shuba shuba, shuba shuba day, shuba shuba, shuba 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 day, shuba shuba, shuba shuba day, hey yeah. A real man can live without a woman, like night and day, says a woman to her man. She's essential to his purpose and his mission. A good woman is a glory to her man. She'll never take the power, she'll just make him a better man. Every great woman is a virtuous woman. Woman, I say you love me. You never leave me lonely. She'll always be there for me. So need not worry. Me getting you find your princess. Not your princess, you found your queen, emperor. That's all you need for rule a castle, you know. You need a feminine energy to take care of the youths who will raise the nation. And you need to be an emperor to protect her and the youths. 2 more. We have the 2 of swords. So what is your decision? Are you for the people or are you for the indoctrination of what it is? I'm getting you have to choose a side. And the side may not look good, but the side, it is essential for you to continue with your journey, knowing what the truth is. And we have the Page of Swords online. I'm getting fire in here. I'm gonna leave it here. Collective, until next time.